sort of other academic perspective on your past performance and how well you would do in an independent research position. But you know, prerequisites, previous knowledge of German doesn't play any role. There's no preference for students with or without German knowledge. So there's 2 levels of language instruction, so you can start with absolutely nothing, or with sort of some intermediate German skills is fine as well.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thanks, Laura. How about Michaela?
Yes, very often students ask us if it's necessary that they have already research experience, but this is not the fact, because we offer this research internships to get you some research experience. Of course, you should know something about the field of study or the field of research you apply to, but you don't have to bring a lot of research experience with you. And we know an undergraduate student, for example, who's at the end of his 2nd year, very often he or she didn't have the possibility to get some research experience during his first 2 years. And another point is, of course, you will work in a team, so you should be a little bit open-minded also, and especially if you don't speak German, don't be too shy, and just try to contact people also in English. This is no problem. A lot of Germans speak English very well, so, and they are of course willing to help you. So I think this might also be a point to be a little bit open-minded.
Great. And Britt, do you have anything to add here for what the committees look at beyond the GPA?
Yeah, well, first of all, they do look at the GPA, but they also look at the different institutions and how they may GPAs, and how a U.S. GPA may differ from a Canadian GPA, how a GPA is actually improving over time. If it's going down, that's not good news. But, you know, anything above a 3, you know, may have a chance. Now, recommendation letters, we require 2 for the undergraduate scholarships are important. Make sure that your professor has the facts right and doesn't address the letter to the Fulbright committee or some other institutions that you're also applying to at the same time. And you know, make sure that the professor knows you. For the undergraduate scholarship, we also appreciate it if the letter comes from an actual professor, a full professor, an associate professor. The higher up in the hierarchy, the better. If it's the department chair, great. We realize that a lot of students are only taught up to a certain year by teaching assistants, but if you want to hand in a letter by a TA, make sure a professor co-signs the letter. And again, you know, if the professor, even he hasn't taught you or she, they may be willing to write a letter for you after they've had a talk with you and they've had a look at your grades or talk to the TA. So you really need to do some work, and that work eventually will pay off. The proposal, and sometimes we're asked, what is a proposal? I'm just going on a study abroad program. I'm taking these and these classes. Well, you have to distinguish yourself from the pack of applicants. So you need to customize and say, well, I'm taking this study abroad program, but this is really crucial for my further academic and career development, and this is why I'm going to Germany. You know, of course, for academic reasons, not just to only widen your horizon. So the more informed you are about Germany, about the particular university you're studying at, and the more you let that shine through in your application, and the more specific you are about your certain subject area, the better it is. That said, we don't have specialists in chemistry or engineering necessarily reading your applications. We may have professors in those fields in our committee, but it does vary. We have a committee of 6 or 8 people, and they get to read different applications, and most of our applications are still from students who are in the humanities and the social sciences, so we'll have these people as well. But make sure you have the recommendation letters from both of your majors and not just from somebody who's teaching German. The German knowledge, we say is not necessary, but it needs to be commensurate with whatever you are doing. So if you want to read an original philosopher in German, you should speak German, and you should read it very well, and you should show that. If you are working in a lab in the sciences, it may not be necessary, but if you're making an effort and taking German classes on the sides, that's definitely a plus. Also, if you've contacted a professor in German directly, they've invited you, that's a plus for your application.
Great. Thanks, Britt. The next question I'll just answer really quickly. Someone wants to know if the scholarships can cover study in Austria. And unfortunately, although Austria is also German-speaking, Germans might not always agree with that, but the scholarships don't cover study in Austria. We're funded by the German government, so it is for study and research in Germany. The next question, actually I can answer quickly as well, is the master's validated only in Germany or in the U.S. and other countries as well? And master's degrees in Germany are recognized worldwide. So they're, as in the States, sometimes 1, sometimes 2-year master's programs, and they use the European credit transfer system, and universities in the States know how to calculate, there's little formulas for calculating how many, European credit transfer credits, how many their credits equal our credits, so the universities are familiar with that, and they see the master's as equivalent, so you shouldn't have to worry about anything there. The next question is for Michaela, and that is, what kind of visa do U.S. students need for the RISE program?
Mm-hmm. So U.S. students don't need any visa for doing an internship in Germany. You can stay up to 90 days without a so-called permit, Aufenthaltsgenehmigung.
Yeah,
residence permit. Okay, residence permit in Germany, and even if you stay 180 days, you don't need a visa, but then you have to apply for a residence permit. So you don't, as Canadian or US students, you don't have to get a visa to do RISE.
And what if they were doing 12 weeks at RISE and then wanted to stay and travel on their own? What would they do then?
Mm-hmm. If at the beginning you should go to the town hall, and then there you, with your PhD student of course, and then you have to go to the registration, means you show where you're staying, the contract of your landlord, for example, and then you will get residence permit, and you tell them that you are planning to stay longer in Germany and that you are doing an internship here, and then you tell them when you will leave the country, and you will get the residence permit for the whole time. But it's not possible to go there at the end of the 90 days and say, so now I need a residence permit, please, I stay more than 90 days, give me one. This is not possible. You have to do this at the beginning of your stay, and then it's not a problem.
Great. Thanks, Michaela. I learned something there too. That's why it's good to have these webinars. The next question is, are students from quarter system schools able to apply to the Europe program, so if their school gets out in mid-June? So Laura, what do students do that are on the quarter system?
It is possible to take part in Europe, so we have...
Oh, Laura, we lost you.